We are getting so close to the premiere of Season 4 of the Halloween Horror Hour, and we'll be sure to update you with premiere dates as soon as possible.
You can also join the Graveyard Gang over on Patreon, get exclusive content, bonus material, access to Patreon-exclusive merchandise, and all that kind of stuff. Those links are all in the description.
Hey everybody, thanks for tuning back into the Halloween Horror Pod. Before we begin our epic, multi-part exploration of the VHS franchise, we have a fun surprise for you today. Up top, we're going to give you a brief history of the VHS itself, so I genuinely hope you enjoy that and our entire exploration of the VHS series. It's going to be a lot of fun.
What is a VHS tape? The first VTR was commercially introduced by the Ampex Corporation in 1956 for a price tag of $50,000, which is roughly $600,000 today. In 1959, Kenjiro Takayanagi, a television broadcasting pioneer working for JVC, decided that we needed a more affordable way for people to be able to broadcast using this magnetic tape, and developed a two-headed tape recorder. A color version was introduced in 1960, and by 1964 the DV220 was released, and it became the company standard until the mid-70s. The U-matic format was a successful business in broadcast television applications, as other electronic news gathering was produced by all of the companies until the late 80s. But because of the cost and limited recording time, very few of the machines were sold for home use. Therefore, soon after the U-matic release, all three companies started working on a consumer-grade video recording format of their own. Sony started working on Betamax, Matsushita started on the VX, and JVC released the CR6060 in 1975 based on the U-matic format. In 1971, JVC engineers Yuma Shirase and Shuzo Takuno put together a team to develop a VTR for consumers. By the end of 1971, they created an internal diagram of the Video Home System Development Matrix, established 12 objectives for JVC's new VTR among them. The system must be compatible with any ordinary television set. Picture quality must be similar to normal broadcasts. The tape must have at least 2-hour recording capacity. Tapes must be interchangeable between machines. The overall system should be versatile, meaning it can be scaled and expanded, such as connecting a video camera or dubbing between two recorders. Recorders should be affordable, easy to operate, and have low maintenance costs. Recorders must be capable of being produced in high volume. Their parts must be interchangeable, and they must be easy to service. It may not surprise you to learn that the first VCR to use VHS was released in Akibahara, Tokyo, Japan on Halloween in 1976. Of course it was. Halloween is intrinsic to the whole VHS boom. So of course it came out that day. That's not just a synchronicity, not just a coincidence, it's perfect. JVC also came up with region-specific versions for the United States and the United Kingdom. The United States received its first VHS-based VCR, the RCA VBT200, on August 23, 1977. So why are we diving into the history of VHS tapes? There are better places for you to go to learn about the history of physical media. I'm just going to throw it out there. Matt McCarthy's Video Garage, VHS Tapes Are Magic. If you want to learn about the history of the format, physical media, Betamax, Laserdisc, some of the even earlier stuff, definitely go check that out. Highly recommend his podcast. But, like I said, we're diving deep into every single segment that has happened in VHS. So I wanted you to know what a VHS cassette even was. Where does this series get started? Also, VHS is an anthology series that features between 4 to 6, including wraparounds. I'm just pulling stuff out of Wikipedia so that you have a general overview of what a VHS cassette even was. We used to go to the video store every week and get tapes. What we're here to talk about is the anthology series VHS. really here today? No, it is not just to advertise the new season of the Halloween Horror Hour, but something else has become a bit of an October tradition as well. Like carving jack-o'-lanterns, performing divinations, and guising, a new installment of the VHS anthology series is coming to Shudder. And we even know what the next 2 years will look like. So, before with a mixtape drops, or we delve into the archives of the SCP, we decided to rank every segment of the previous VHS tapes. But we did not want to do this like everybody else. No, we needed to make this a definitive ranking. So we called upon 10 individuals to give their opinions and rank each segment in order to determine what really was objectively the best and the worst of the series. Over the next 4 weeks, we will be joined by some of those that voted as we count down the definitive ranking of every VHS segment up to VHS Halloween. But who am I joined by this week? I see someone there in Northern California. Could you introduce yourself and tell us why you're here?
Hi, I'm Kelly. I am one half of the Final Girls podcast. I am happy to be joining again and to be talking about this anthology series. I am here because I volunteered as tribute to be one of the ones led to the slaughter, and this was overall a real mixed bag in terms of enjoyment. So I am excited to get into the bottom of the barrel today.
And if we go all the way up the Pacific coast, I hear him chuckling from Alaska. It was VHS viral or sniffing the glue while you assembled your recording studio a better experience?
Okay. That's tough to say. All I can say is that I was a little late to catching up for this process, but I got there. But that meant that I watched 8 VHS movies. Hi, I'm George, by the way. I watched 8 VHS movies in 6 days, and I think I have brain damage, and that's pretty fun. You know what? I think it might be viral. Other than all the glue I inhaled to build my recording studio. You know, we'll get there when we get there. I've got some strong takes. I think I liked a lot of these more than you guys did when I'm seeing what ended up on the bottom of the list and what didn't. So I'm excited to get into it. I'm stoked for this. This is going to be a good time.
And spinning in his chair in vicious circles in Olympia, Washington. Tell us who you are, Tony, and are you actually enjoying the vicious circles that you're spinning in?
Yeah, you spin me right round. Yeah, it's been a good time. I am part of the Hallow horror encompassing universe now, even more so this year. The VHS movies were a lot of fun. I'd seen the first couple before, and so it was a journey, but I spread it out a little bit more than George did. So my brain damage is a little bit softened.
I was watching movies and TV with my partner, and I was just expecting VHS stuff to happen. I'm like, when's the floor going to open up? And when's their skin coming off? And then it just didn't happen. I was like, oh, right. I'm watching what normal people watch. I forget that sometimes.
Exactly.
All right. Well, without further ado, let's go through the bottom of this list. So what we did is we had filmmakers, authors, podcasters, film critics, film students, actors, high schoolers, and all sorts of folks submit their rankings. So they each individually ranked every single segment in the franchise, which is about 45, although some of these are hardly segments. We tried to include all of the wraparounds and narrative devices and whatnot. So I guess, let's explain the structure of an anthology. Typically, an anthology movie is going to have 3 to 5 short films, essentially, segments that fill it up. And there's usually some sort of either narrative device or wraparound. So if you look at Creepshow, there's the wraparound with the kid and his comic books getting thrown away and him getting the voodoo doll from the back of the EC Comics and dealing with his horrible stepfather. And with Tales from the Crypt, you have the Crypt Keeper at the beginning and end of every episode kind of telling you the moral of the story and setting things up. In the VHS series, it's kind of different every installment, although the first 2 are a little connected and they're some of the worst. So, yeah. And then that is how we kind of broke everything down. So we did include the wraparounds into our rankings. And I think we just need to dive into the very bottom of the list. Coming in at very last place is Vicious Circles, which is the narrative device from VHS Viral. Let's see. Kelly, George, you had this ranked highest among everyone on the episode.
Okay.
So tell us about Vicious Circles.
Okay, here's the deal.
What were you thinking?
Okay, no. Now that I'm looking back, there's a lot of stuff I'm going to end up walking back, and I'm ready to accept that. So, I was so late to the party on getting ready for this. So what I did was I went through each movie because decisions had to be made to get this job done, and I accepted that. And so what I did was I took each movie and I took what I thought was the best from each one, and I kind of just labeled them, and then I went down each one and made those like my top 8, and then 16, 24, yada yada, and just did it from there. And then I ended up going back and doing a few things because I realized I missed Home Hunt on the list and I had to redo everything. Oh, ICE in there. Yeah, I agree. It's like my number 9 or whatever now. Yes, I don't remember Vicious Circles. It should not have been high on my list. I'm gonna walk some of this stuff back, so please do not refer to me on this one.
All right. Well, then I'll throw it over to Kelly because you had this rated at 36, which is the second highest of all people on this list. What were you thinking?
Okay, what I was thinking was that there were others that I hated more. And so I'm curious to hear people's methods for the ranking. I'm really glad that we did include the wraparounds, because this segment is basically just going to be like the wraparound episode because we all hated most of them. They're not good. They're not good. And,
I can't believe tape 46 is in this list and shredding isn't. Whatever. Moving on.
Oh, we'll get there.
I mean, it was just like at the bottom. It was really easy to fill out the top and the bottom of the list because there are some of these that I just find absolutely
I knew
offensive.
immediately what like my top like 2 or 3 were for sure by the end.
So Vicious Circles and a couple other that we're going to talk about. Like one of them actually is going to be on the next episode, but like a couple of these I just find so offensive that I just like wish they did.
Yes.
They drag the series down. Like it makes it hard for me to like recommend the series as a whole because some of these exist.
Okay, that's exactly my point. Some of these like offended me, and those are the ones that I ranked the lowest. So at that point, it wasn't even like in terms of.
I think we should get Tony to star in a feature-length kid print movie. I think he'd love that.
Sure.
Sounds brutal. So what I was going to say is my ranking system was based on a misread of Ian's spreadsheet that he sent out because he had a column for stars. And in my mind, I was thinking like star rating, not like...
That's what I thought too.
Okay. So
yeah,
Ian
I was thinking like 1 to 5.
That's exactly what I did, 1 to 5 stars. And that actually ended up helping me quite a bit because I was able to kind of break this down. Like my list of all the segments is based in terms of 1 out of 5 stars was I hated it. 2 out of 5 stars was I disliked it. 3 out of 5, it was fine. 4 out of 5, I liked it. And 5 out of 5, I loved it. So I have everything kind of broken down into those 5 categories, and it did get really difficult to kind of sort them within those. And especially like the 3 out of 5, it's like they're kind of all like middle ground to me. So I did a lot of rearranging of things repeatedly, especially as I was watching them. I was like, no, I definitely hate that one more than this one. And so I was constantly like re-ranking things, but you know, I also have OCD, so I was just like extremely particular about it. Yeah, that was my system.
I got the wig for the kid print.
While we're talking about it real quick before we move on, Tony, what was your system for how you came to determine your ranking?
I knew that viral was the part that I hated the most. So those were like the bottom. And that like they stuck out in my brain for like negative reasons pretty much, like, and I knew the ones that like I liked the most, so I put those at the top, and then the rest, it was like this is hard. Some of them I'm like I liked them, but I don't know which ones I like more, and it's hard for me to pick to rank.
I'm so excited to hear what everyone's number 1 is. I gotta be honest.
Yeah.
We've got a ways to go to get there, but yeah,
we do.
I mean, Vicious Circles. It follows Kevin, whose girlfriend has disappeared. He lives in
unforgettable Kevin.
Yeah, his girlfriend Iris disappears after he tries to film an out of control ice cream truck. And
just the description.
Yeah, I mean, and that's really it. And I believe he lives in a dystopian universe where everybody is just fighting over going viral, trying to film this ice cream truck, who is sending out VHS tapes who make people go crazy. It sucks. It's really bad.
I think the reason that we're all kind of having trouble jumping on the discussion points for this one is because the number one thing I wrote in my notes for Vicious Circles was almost totally incomprehensible.
Absolutely unforgettable. Even rereading descriptions, I rewatched the entire thing, no idea.
It's such a mess.
Yeah, it's all over the place. There's nothing good, and that's why it's at the bottom of our list. But let's move to the next installment on our list. Number 44 is Bone Storm. Bone Storm, it comes in at number 44. Brianna had this rank the highest out of all of us, and she is not on the episode. So next up is George. You had Bone Storm ranked at number 32.
Okay. Again, when I told you about my ranking process, it's kind of like per movie ranking is kind of how I did it. So, yeah, it's okay. It looks like it was really fun to be a part of the filming process is about all I can say. But please, anyone else but me, take it from here.
Yeah, so this is directed by Benson and Moorhead, who have directed episodes of Loki, episodes of Moon Knight. They're established directors. They have worked a bunch.
That's pretty cool.
A bunch on the VHS series, and I mean, this is just a bad skate video. They took a bunch of video equipment actually to Tijuana, and like they actually did that. Benson and Moorhead have a cameo as rollerbladers in a pool at a skate park at some point. There's some pretty cool skate tricks going down. But it just ends in a ditch in Tijuana where some sort of cult thing is happening. Also,
it's also, I should say, I'm partial to skate videos. I love that stuff growing up, so that's probably why I enjoyed, like, I remembered it more, even though it kind of ended in nonsense. But I do love skate videos, and I still do to this day.
As a skateboarder, this got ranked as high as I could possibly give it, and that was 37. So,
hey, that's 7 ahead of the rest. That's fine.
Yeah. All right. Are there any other thoughts on Bone Storm? Kelly, Tony, anything you want to add there?
A lot of the viral videos, kind of fall into the same way. I'm like, I could see where they had an idea, but then they just kind of lost the plot. And this is one of those that I'm like, they had an idea, but they didn't really develop it. And then it was just chaos. I'm taking this stupid wig off. Yeah, and so, I like the skater elements and stuff, but it did feel like they're like, we still got time, let's keep going, and I don't know.
Since you mentioned your wig on the podcast, can I ask you what you were going for there?
Oh, originally I used it for a cosplay of Sabin from Final Fantasy VI, because he has, the spiky hair with the ponytail, so I got a mullet wig. And
duplexes a train, for those who don't know.
I don't know where it's at, but I have a little Thomas.
All right. Sorry, I interrupted the whole show for that nonsense. Sorry, everybody.
Tangents. What was your final thoughts
no,
there,
I was
Tony?
saying, yeah.
Yes, please. I interrupted you, Kelly. You probably had a way more salient thought than I did. Sorry.
No. I was literally just gonna piggyback off of everyone else and just kind of say, I don't hate it conceptually. The idea of horror surrounding kind of retro skateboarding is a cool and totally fun idea. But yeah, this is one of those ones where, and I think this so frequently nowadays, tighten it up. It goes on so long, way beyond when it needs to. And that could be fun if things were kind of ramping up, but instead it just feels like a lot of the same and it starts to get real repetitive.
When you're expecting to watch a VHS movie, totally, I agree. That was my issue with it when I was recapping it, and I feel bad rating it so high. You know, like I said, decisions had to be made. But yeah, you totally glaze over and forget you're even watching a VHS movie a few minutes in, and then you're like reminded when zombies show up, and then you're just kind of happy you're on to the next thing.
Yeah.
All right, coming in at number 43 is Tape 56, which is the wraparound for the first VHS movie. This really, like, both Kelly and I have this rated at 45 as the most offensive piece of garbage in the entire...
Yeah.
We missed Toy Soldiers on the list, so...
Oh, okay.
That was a...
Okay, am I forgetting something? Am I being canceled? Did I forget something?
Well...
Kelly,
maybe.
I'm going to let you speak on this,
Yeah,
Kelly.
please,
Thank you.
please. Because I haven't seen it. I watched everyone but the first one because I saw it like 5 times, but it's been a few years.
Okay, yeah, it was funny. So my note for this one, the very first thing I wrote in the entire spreadsheet was pretty bold to start your film with scenes of sexual assault. So that's going to get...
Yeah. I forgot that.
Assaulting the woman in the
I was
parking
just thinking
garage.
about the dead bodies in the house and I forgot about the parking garage opening. You know what? I'm going to keep this in. I have final edit, but I'm going to keep that in to remind everybody.
Yeah.
It's
To double
horrible,
check your work.
Yeah, so, I mean, this is just the most unlikable group of people, and this movie came out in, I have the year written on the spreadsheet, but I don't have the spreadsheet open in front of me.
It's 2012.
2012. Yeah, this is just such a 2012 group of douchebags with a fucking DV cam that, like, out there...
Well, we weren't supposed to think they were cool. We were supposed to be stoked they died, right?
Right. But
Yeah.
it was just a little much that, like, this is how you're gonna start the entire franchise off. They're trying to find a rare VHS tape. Like, that's gonna be their, like, ticket to, like they're in some sort of underground, like, dark web kind of thing. And as someone who, like, was getting into VHS tapes, like, I mean, I never got out of them, but, like, definitely from, like, 2010 to 2014, I was the person at the Goodwill buying all the VHS tapes for 50 cents to $1, and that's why I have the collection that I have today. So I get it.
May I say that, okay, the reason that this story was rated highly is because, for me, was because that I remembered all the stuff that happened after those douchebags got to that house and what happened to them after and the cutbacks to, like, the corpse on the couch and the missing bodies. I found that incredibly compelling, but... I do agree that the opening, and not only the terrible subject matter, but I also think that the shaky cam is way too shaky for introducing you to this. Because if, like, when I showed Rainey, and we eventually went through all of them, but it was even just a bit much besides that content, when they're just running around and waving the camera everywhere. Like, hey, I get that it's found footage, but you can calm down a little bit to ease people into it. So I agree that the opening for this franchise sucks.
Yeah, I was surprised. It had been, I guess I had only seen the first movie once, and that was probably around the time that it came out. And then so rewatching it, it just had this underlying current of misogyny throughout the whole thing, I think, that really starts strong with that first segment and then kind of continues in a way that honestly surprised me, because I watch a lot of horror movies and I have a...
God, I didn't even think about that. Oh, man, you're right.
I know. I have some expectations for horror movies and, like, what will be featured in them, and, you know, I can deal with it. But it just felt like, is this supposed to be fun? I don't know. I mean, it never rose to the point of punishing those characters as badly as I would have wanted to see them punished. Like,
well, we don't see them punished on screen. We see the aftermath of them having been,
That's my point. On my podcast, me and my co-host Sarah always talk about how if there's a really horrendous act, usually involving sexual assault of some kind. We want the revenge to be more graphic than the part that, like, you know, triggered the need for revenge. This isn't like this, what happens in this movie, in this segment, is not super graphic or anything, but I wanted to, like, you know, stick it to them later, like do something real memorable to them. And instead it was kind of like, okay.
So this came up on our Liminal Spaces podcast, Kelly. I just want to remind you of something that co-host and friend of the pod, Joseph Wilkie, told you last time, was that the way you self-promote is to say that your podcast, Final Girls, is where you can hear that insight.
You're right. I got totally schooled in the Liminal episode, and I didn't take your notes beyond that. But, yeah, good point. So come listen to the Final Girls podcast if you want to hear the female perspective on the movies that you're watching. So.
Absolutely. It is the best female perspective podcast on horror.
It's a great listen, for real. It really is.
The definitive female perspective.
Oh my gosh. See, that's how you sell a podcast, huh? He's right.
Whole Ian stamp of approval.
All right. Well, let's jump into our next segment. Only one of these segments has actually been a real segment, and the other three, including this one, have been wraparounds, and there is another wraparound even after this. So, Tape 49, which is essentially the sequel to Tape 56. This is, again, just in the, like, I hate this more than other stuff. This is so forgettable. A lot of, like, Wikipedia doesn't even list this as a segment. Like, it lists other wraparounds, but it doesn't even list Tape 49.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts on Tape 49? This is the one with the private investigator and his partner, and they are, like, taping a dude that's cheating on his wife, and it, you know, sets up that VHS is really a series about boobs. But it also hangs some dong in this one, and then they use that to try to blackmail the guy. But then they also go to try to find the VHS tapes, and then they find the tapes that kind of correlate to what was happening in Tape 56, creating our narrative wraparound device. That's
Ian, I'm going to be embarrassed. Can you tell me what number I put this one at? I'm sure it should have been lower.
I don't even know if you rank this one because this is not on the definitive list. I think.
Oh, is it not? Okay,
yeah,
is that why
this is the clerical error? This and the next one we'll be talking about weren't even considered real segments by Wikipedia.
Okay.
So when I sent out the initial list, not on there. So only Kelly, Brianna, and I rated this one. And
I probably would have been like number 4.
No, honestly, this one is so forgettable that it's completely reasonable for you to not even have a.
Yeah, it's really just
remember this one.
Let's open this door and see the story told in here.
Isn't Tape 49 the end where they like sees a video of the guy killing himself to make the tape, and then he comes out as a monster, and then the lady is a monster and shit too.
Oh yeah, that ending wasn't too bad, but it made no sense. But yeah,
it was just like a loose idea of like, let's have a reason they're watching VHSs.
Yeah, very loose.
Yeah. Can we, since this isn't a ranking, can we say which one we thought had the best reason for them watching the VHS tapes? Personally, I think it was VHS 94 with the cult in that building who had all killed themselves. I thought that was pretty cool, but if anyone else has a better one.
We're going to be talking about that in just 2 segments, so we'll get there.
All right.
We'll get there, but let's move on from Tape 49. If you have any awards you want to give, like best wraparound or like best kill or best acting, best cameo,
best kill, best acting,
any
very
of that
sweet.
Kind of stuff. Like just feel free to
a lot
chime
of it's in Halloween and 94 for me.
Yeah,
Halloween is the best.
Yeah, I agree, but we'll get there. Next, we're going to talk about the wraparound from which wraparound is this from? Is this 99? Toy Soldiers.
I can tell you that is 99, yes.
Yes. The wraparound from VHS 99, Toy Soldiers, which is, it's a little stop motion thing. It's just kind of forgettable. It just it doesn't actually tie anything together. There's really no verisimilitude, but, it's fun. I could see our friend Emmett making something like this, but he's so much better at it than they are that he wouldn't.
So I got to say to our fans of the Halloween Horror Pod and the Halloween Horror Hour, I will be doing an interview with the aforementioned Emmett here soon. He is a claymation and stop motion artist, and he was absolutely the first person I thought of when I saw this segment. And we'll get to all that, but I will say that I think I rated this intro higher than most people. Not because it was a very effective horror story in any way, but I thought it was really funny and a really effective piece of animation that didn't take up too much time. Unlike Bone Storm, it didn't make me feel like it had me trapped. And it moved on smoothly, and it was a pleasant enough watch, but it absolutely made no sense to the overall arc of everything, so I accepted being rated, low on the scale, but I did enjoy it. I will say that. By the way, I enjoyed most things I saw in the VHS movies. There's very little I hated, but there's 44 of them, and you gotta rank them. So
you gotta rank. I think I'm gonna say about this one the same thing that I said about Skinamarink in our liminal episode, which was like I respect it more than I enjoy it.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's fair.
I like the idea of it, and I wanted to like it more than I did. And I appreciate that, again, like Skinamarink, that they were doing something different. Like, okay, these wraparounds for the other ones were terrible. Let's try something new. But it really doesn't fit, and it really doesn't add anything, and it really doesn't go anywhere. And so it's just kind of like when you're watching an adult, like again with Adult Swim, and you get like a little like bumper in between, and it's just kind of a little
it was like an
and,
extended Adult Swim. I see that completely.
That's fun, but it doesn't really fit, and it doesn't do anything for the movie. So
it was pretty forgettable. I'm thinking about the moments in it. I'm like, I don't remember much from it really. Like it
was cute.
Yeah.
Coming in at number 40 is George's favorite wraparound, Holy Hell, from VHS 94.
Well, I really enjoyed VHS 94. I thought it was great.
Love
Whatever.
VHS 94, but this is just not the wraparound for me. Tell us
This
all
is the
about
one with
it.
the cult, right? This is the one with the cult with the two women cops who have a secret, underground VHS society where they're trying to drive people insane. And they go into a place where people have gouged out their eyes and cut off their body parts. And they're watching these movies. And they're trapping their co-SWAT members, whatever, to watch these videos. I think it's an excellent excuse to watch these movies. I think it is super campy and super fun. And I need you to tell me why you don't like it.
Okay, wait. You said super campy and super fun, and I want to jump on that for a second. It is so campy. This is the one that I'm going to bestow my worst acting award on.
Okay, let's do it. I love it.
And that's tough because I have other ones in mind for that too, but I want to give it to this one for some of the wild line readings in this one. And one of them, I guess
that's why I liked it. I don't know.
Well, one of them I have to say, because at the very end, the two women say, "We are the final girls, you're our final kill."
It was ridiculous. It's so dumb, but I thought it was a blast.
Would you deliver that again and be like, "We are the final girls," and yes, that is a plug for my podcast.
You're standing over this dude whose eyes you just gouged out, like you're telling him how it is? That'd be great.
No.
Okay.
But you know what? I'll give it that. And I like campy fun. I totally do. But it's funny. There's another one. I think there's one on the list for today that I think I rated more highly than... Yeah, there is. That I rated more highly than other people because I found it campy fun. It's very stupid, but I laughed a lot while watching it. And so we'll get to that one. But I hear you, though. I get, you're in a certain vibe and something gets you while you're in that vibe, then it can work. This one just didn't work for me.
Yeah. For me, I wanted more to happen throughout it. They got me at the beginning. It's like they're finding the bodies and stuff, but they never really delivered. I don't feel like it's just oh, by the way, and I'm like, okay, I guess.
This was the first time back after a 7-year hiatus after VHS Viral almost killed the series. And so this does tie back into the wraparounds of Tape 56 and Tape 49. It is still kind of that same cult of VHS watchers that is. So there's been a bit of a build-up, but I didn't hate it. I just didn't like it as much as other things, and there are just things that are much higher on my list because they were much more enjoyable. So, the next one, we're still sticking in wraparounds, and this one I'm a little upset about, honestly. Let's see. George drug this one down. Yeah, it's your fault, George.
Man.
This would have been much higher if it wasn't.
Which is it?
Abduction, Adduction, which is the mockumentary series about UFOs that was made by Joe Chiel for the VHS Beyond series. This is our wraparound or our narrative where they're talking about the aliens.
I guess the only reason is I kept I watched everything so much, and even though Beyond was at the end of the list of things I reviewed, I'm reading it now even, and it's just so forgettable. And I'm sorry, it must not have made an impact on me because I got nothing to say about it, man.
Well, Emmett and I have this rated exactly in the middle of the entire series, so we both really enjoyed this, but we're both the weirdos who just watch A&E and History Channel. I actually own like a DVD box set of History Channel, like Alien and
cool.
Haunting things. So this, I just enjoyed this wraparound and narrative. I think I overall rated Beyond a little bit higher than almost everybody, although
I rated a bunch of Beyond segments highly, but I don't remember the wraparound well. But like Stowaway, I thought was fantastic. I think that's like my number 3, but that's like down the road. But yeah.
Any thoughts on Abduction, Adduction?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was a fun way to do it. It just, I don't know, like Beyond. It might have been the mood at the time. It didn't really, the whole thing didn't hit very highly for me. Like, none of it was bad, but I felt like most of it was just okay to me. Like, it didn't, but I did like the wraparound probably the best out of that.
Here's what I like about this wraparound. You can see what's going on, and there's actual structure to it, and there's actual, like, things happening in a way that is understandable. That's really it. And it also isn't as terrible as some of the others. Like, it didn't stand out to me. I liked it okay, but it doesn't really end in a satisfying way, but I do kind of like the weird direction that it does go in. And so I think I remember the end of it more than I remember the way that the kind of windy road it takes to get there. But I kind of like how they're building up your expectations for something, and then, you kind of see that thing and it's super fucking weird. But overall, though, I think you are kind of waiting for those parts to end, though, so you can get to the other segments that are generally just more interesting. What do you think this is saying about the wraparounds as a whole? Like, is a little bite-sized piece of a story always going to be more digestible than this kind of like drawn out, like, connective tissue? What do you think?
I think it is a really interesting question, because we do see so many of these wraparounds down so low. There are a couple that are higher up, and we'll get to those. But
I'm sure Diet Phantasma's higher on the list than a lot of these.
Yep.
But I like the way that this one is kind of. So I am thoroughly like entrenched in VHS culture, and I don't know how much that plays for other people, but like, finding a VHS tape where someone has like recorded something and then recorded things over it is really interesting. So this, and I want to say it's 85, also use this kind of narrative structure where it's like there was a longer documentary that was recorded, and then there were shorter things that were recorded over the top of it, and we're just watching that VHS tape in its full. And I love the, like...
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah. I love the ephemera of that, where, like, watching a movie that was taped off a TV station and, like, you know, like Halloween, where there's, like, extra stuff they added in to make it long enough for TV broadcast, but then there's all the commercials and everything. And I love that kind of stuff, and they did that really well with this one and the one with Total Copy.
Can I say that for the fans of this series who are really invested in hearing our history of the VHS movies, one of our guests is going to be Chris Lavinia, who is a VHS expert, and he's going to be a part of our series on the VHS breakdown, and he's inserted his opinions on the best and worst of the series, and we'll get to that. We're also going to do a breakdown of American Horror Story around October. He's going to be a big part of the show, and so you know, if you're really into VHS culture, he's the man to hear, and you're going to hear him soon.
And also, we started the show off with a really good breakdown of the history of VHS going back to 1956 and how JVC worked with the VTR. But you heard that all at the beginning of the episode. So, all right. So, adduction. Well, let's move on to the next one. It is.
Oh, I meant to ask, what's a VHS? I'm kidding. Please continue. I'll stop. I won't do that again.
Yeah. No, it's all broken down at the beginning of the episode.
I can't wait to hear that.
The next one is Techno God from VHS 1985, and I hate you all for ranking this so low.
I didn't care for it. It just really did nothing for me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. This is my number 10 out of the entire series. I remember throwing on 80. This is really like, I liked 94 and 99, and like I had remember watching the first one when it came out, and I was like, this is kind of icky, and I didn't really like 2 and 3. This is when I like actually became a fan of the series. Techno God was like, oh shit, I really like these movies. Like, this can do some
I get
cool
that.
stuff.
I'm rereading it now. I think, again, I mentioned my ranking process was a little harsh, and I think
fine.
I probably,
if
I'd given a couple days, I probably would have moved it up a couple ranks, to be fair, but maybe not that many, but a few.
George, you have this second highest compared to me, but Techno God is the story of a performance artist who's coming out on stage. And she starts off with kind of this video about a documentary about open source VR, and this guy who is clearly in the park because he's been kicked out of his house because nobody wants him around is talking about his open source VR, which actually a real thing. For a long time, before the Oculus, before all of that kind of stuff, there was open source VR, and he was, you know, drinking coffee, and he had his iPhones on. So he was just kind of a weirdo with this tech, and then she like goes into the technology, uses the technology as part of this performance art, and calls on the god of technology, and basically gets killed by the AI in a very vicious way on stage. The director,
Natasha Kermani.
Natasha's mother was a performance artist, and so her and the writer and the actor actually watched these old videos of her mom in the 60s and 70s, like getting naked on stage, doing performance art. There's a lot of like, yeah. I mean, it is strange. You can watch the interviews with her. She's like, "Yep, that's my mom." Like, but I felt this was a really personal story, a really salient story. I love, like, it's like the reboot-esque 3D graphics, like the Windows 95 hover game.
That is fun. That is fun.
And so I really appreciate this segment. It's not my favorite, but it is in my top 10. And
I'm sure that one of mine in the top 10 is probably in someone's bottom rank. I'm sure that worked out somehow, but yeah.
Okay, Ian. The reason that I rated this one so low is because I was poised to love this one. I'm a huge tech nerd. I work in AI. I love VR. I love experimental technology. I love engaging with the technology in ways that are like maybe like outside of, societal norms, like seeing what you like, testing boundaries, testing limits, and kind of like seeing where it takes you and all this stuff like that. I really wanted to love this one. It was too stupid. It just gets too stupid. Like it's fine to be cheesy. It was building up to something really cool to me, and I was like, "Oh my god, I can't wait to see this!" And then it was such a letdown that I was kind of like, "Nah."
Listeners can't see Ian right now, but he was laughing very hard when she declared how stupid that was.
Well, no, the payoff. If the payoff had been like executed better, this would be my number one. Like, so I get that. Like, but I love all of it, of what it's saying. I feel like there's a message there, and I'm just an artsy nerd, so like the performance art aspect, I'm just like, this is a great, and they always film themselves. Like, we're always filming ourselves as like these weirdo artists, and so I love the whole setup, the verisimilitude. I'm just totally bought in. But I get what you're saying.
$100 word right there, everybody. That's your word of the day.
Oh, verisimilitude is the most important word when it comes to found footage. And
that's my band name.
And so when verisimilitude is the most important word when it comes to found footage, that's a really good band name.
Put that on a
Whatever, let's move on. I've already dragged us down
New merch
enough.
hitting the Bonfire store very soon. Verisimilitude is the most important word when it comes to found footage. Will be there soon. And you can check out George and my prog rock band. Verisimilitude is the most important word.
We'll be playing at Riot Fest next month in Chicago. You can come see us selling merch out there.
We'll be playing at Wapato Lake here in Tacoma, and nobody will want to hear us.
We'll be on a raft covered in hot dog grease.
Tony, do you have any thoughts on Techno God?
I think I just wasn't in the right mood for it when I watched it. I thought that it was interesting, but I don't know. I was trying to rush to get through all of the VHS because I very ADHD pushed it down the line too far. Not as bad as George, but too far still.
I still got the work done. That's what's important.
Yeah. So I don't know. I'm like, I appreciated it. Like I said at the beginning, like pretty much everything in the middle was really hard for me to like place. I'm like, I don't know. It's got to go somewhere in the line.
Yeah.
I had forgotten to say that at the beginning of this, I had actually seen every VHS movie beforehand. Like I watched pretty much every one of them as they dropped. Okay, so it was mostly a rewatching. So I rewatched 8 movies. It wasn't my first time, so that is important to note.
Oh yeah, other than the first 2, the rest of them were first time for me.
I remember telling you, while filming season 4 of the Halloween Horror Hour, which you can catch this October, that is something you should give to people as a tongue twister who are recovering from head wounds. That's crazy. That Halloween was the best VHS, and that when you got to it, you would enjoy it the most. And was I correct, Tony?
Let's let the numbers show.
Okay,
let's leave that mystery.
I'll let us keep going.
I'm gonna pull number 37 out of a hat because coming in at number 37 is Dante the Great. This is ranked really high for Brianna. I wish she was on the episode.
It's fine
to defend. We talk about verisimilitude being the most important word for found footage, but this movie eschews that. Yeah, there is nothing that makes this a found footage film because there are musical cues. This is, I have this rated, the second lowest. Tony has this rated lower than me. Emmett has this rated at the very bottom.
Oh, wow.
And, I
think Emmett's jealous of magicians. I don't know.
So, at number 22, Kelly, you have this rated highest on the episode, so why do you love Dante the Great so much?
Okay, whoa, love is a strong word. This was firmly in my 3 out of 5 stars camp, where I was like,
I said, it's fine.
But this is the one that I was saying where, like, I recognize that it's bad and it's dumb, but I laughed so hard regularly in this one, and, sometimes that's all you can really ask for. No, I liked it because I like the concept, the magician performing like horrific acts, is kind of a cool idea. And like the dark arts or something, it's just like it scratches some itch for me. But also the magician is played by a guy who's like in Final Destination 5 or something. And so I was like, oh my God, it's that guy. And other than that, it's bad, but there's a lot of really silly things happening on screen. Once again, it gets some bad acting awards from me, but I don't know. I was entertained by it, and that's really more than I can say for a lot of the lower segments.
So Dante the Great is a story of a magician who is not very good, but then he finds a magical cloak that was once owned by Harry Houdini, which that's completely incorrect because Houdini hated magic. Anyway, there's another
We're not
episode.
going for accuracy here.
If you go listen to our episode live from Kent Nerd Party, I have a conversation with somebody about Harry Houdini who is an expert on that. She wrote a choose your own adventure book about Harry Houdini, and her and I went off on that. So
I want that book.
Yeah, she wrote the book, and it's great, and we interviewed her at Kent Nerd Party. That is a past episode that came out in June, so go check that out. Interviewed a bunch of authors on that episode. But anyway,
I can't wait to see Ken Burns' Halloween Horror Hour. That's going to be a good, good
right.
7-hour documentary. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm working on it, buddy. You've seen our History of Halloween segments. They're like 15 minutes long and just Ken Burns style images. Anyway, Dante the Great, he finds a magic cloak. It's an actual magic cloak, and it needs blood, so it is... So he starts feeding his assistants to it, and then he finds out an assistant he likes has an abusive boyfriend, feeds the abusive boyfriend to it. He is hauled off by the cops. That is the gist of the story. I want to ask you all the question. If there was a magician who knew some very simple tricks, he knew like a card trick, a coin trick, could pull a rabbit out of a hat, and was doing those very simple, magician tricks that we all are pretty familiar with, we've seen, whether or not we know how they work, we have seen those kinds of things happen, but they were using real magic. Is that cooler, or is that terrifying?
Oh, both. It's extremely cool.
I think both is a really good answer. I was going to say terrifying, but I think you're right. Both is the right way to go.
Yeah.
I mean, that would be fucking cool, right? You would be scared, but you would be like, oh my God, this opens up so many possibilities in life. I don't know.
Yeah, if someone was like, look at this, I can open a teleport, or I can teleport a demon into our realm, I'd be like, neat.
Well, okay. There are other uses for it, surely.
Yeah, they can really put a dollar bill in an orange and then cut it in half and show it to you.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only real magic trick allowed.
I conceptually I like this, but the acting is bad. The loss of verisimilitude of it being a found footage thing is really bad. It's a huge mark against it, so I have it ranked pretty low. Tony has it ranked really low. Emmett has it ranked really low. So yeah, I mean, I think it just losing the trail on being a found footage thing is really what drags this one down a whole lot, and it being part of VHS Viral, and so I'm already having a bad time while I'm watching this, and then so we're gonna stuff that rabbit back in the hat, and you know what comes after Friday the 13th? Saturday the 14th.
Tuesday the 17th?
Well, yes. I mean, it does, but yeah, Saturday the 14th, but then that leads to Sunday the 15th, and then Monday the 16th, and then we get to Tuesday the 17th. So, Saturday the 14th is a better movie than Friday the 13th Part 5, I'll say. Some hot takes there. Anybody disagree?
That's a low bar to clear, but okay.
Yeah. That is. I was picking the low bar. Okay. Yeah. I like 5 more than 8. I'll give it that. But anyway, Tuesday the 17th is the next date in chronological order there, and that is also our next segment. Tuesday the 17th is a friend who's kind of been skirned by her friend group is bringing them back to a campsite where there is a slasher who is unseen, and he's glitching in and out of existence and ends up killing everybody. Let's see, who has this ranked the highest? Tony, you have this ranked at number 11, so tell me what the fuck.
Oh, come on, it's not that bad. Give him a break.
I mean... Yeah, after 10, it was all kind of like going down the line of like, what did I think of this? And then just fitting it in. But I don't know. I thought it was fun. Like, I liked the slasher vibes, and like the ending was super silly. But
You have to remember, it was like 2012 too. That was like, that was cool looking.
Yeah. So there was that. Like, I liked the kind of panning, like showing things happening and then it like kind of happening. Like, it just kind of, it felt like, I think I also liked how they kind of used that same concept later on with the guy who can like sees the videos of the future and stuff. So I don't know. My brain, I was like going back through everything while I was ranking it. The ranking was hard. I had put off the ranking after I watched them too. So I'm just like, get it in.
Oh, God.
Oh man, yeah. So I don't know.
I watched 8 movies and then ranked them all at once. I understand.
Yeah, I finished the last one. A couple days later, I saw Ian. I was like, I've watched them. I haven't ranked them yet, but I watched them. He's like, get it done by the weekend, and I was like, okay. And then I did it like late Saturday night, and then he's like, hey, you do it with the form. I was like, you're right. Yep. So I had to go back and redo it. Like,
maybe this is important to note. You guys live in areas where other human beings live. Yeah. I live in the forest. And so I watched
forest buddies.
So I watched 8 VHS movies and then walked alone in the woods for 8 days. And then and thought about everything. So I might kill everyone I've ever met. I don't know. We'll see what happens after all of that.
Hey, Tony and I live in a highly forested area as well, but we're not allowed to go outside because the entire state's on fire. So
that's true. I mean, I looked at a fire map yesterday, and all of the all of the U.S., but especially the Northwest. Like,
well, I'm glad to bring up that bummer on top of this bummer. Yeah. Fantastic.
Well,
sorry, guys.
I almost had to evacuate last week, and I'm in California, but okay.
Well, sorry, everybody. Okay, moving on. I apologize.
Well, we just burned our way right through that campsite. Tuesday the 17th. There's a burn ban.
Wow.
So from one natural disaster to another, let's move to God of Death, which is a story about the 1995 Mexico City earthquake. God of Death it starts out in a newsroom. The earthquake happens, and it follows people trying to escape the newsroom. They eventually meet the Aztec God of Death, who I am going to forget the name of right now.
Mictlan?
Yeah, Mictlan.
Oh, thank you.
See, Mictlan. And so Mictlan, in true VHS fashion, has his subject get naked and show her boobs before presenting him a heart. Because you can't spell VHS without boobs, I guess.
Apparently.
Yeah. That was one of the things across the series. I was like, man, there's a lot of moments with boobies. Just, they gotta have the boobies.
Okay, let me just say something real quick. Like, it's totally great, have boobs in movies, have naked ladies, have naked dudes, whatever. Yeah. But like, there should be a reason for it, okay? Yeah. Don't just shoehorn it in and just like have people just stripping on camera. One of my least favorite segments didn't make it into the bottom. We'll talk about it later. But it's just like, just as long as there's a reason and there's like the nudity is organic, then it's fine. But this series just kept finding like the dumbest reasons to put the nudity in, so I just kept rolling my eyes, and this one was no exception. But
I've said that for a long time, and a lot of dudes I know thought I was really lame for thinking that, but like even back when I was like 14 and 15, I'd be like, there is no reason for her to have her shirt off right now, and they'd be like, what are you talking about?
It just breaks your immersion. Like, come on, put it in the story at the very least. Yeah, this was another... Yeah, about all the segments, I was kind of like, this is such a cool idea. Why is it not working? Yeah. And this is one of those that I felt that, the setting, the payoff, like, I don't know, everything should have worked. And it just felt so dull, like so flat. And I don't know why. And it also kind of was a little bit, I don't know, it was kind of giving me just sentiments of like real tragedies that happened that kind of made it less fun also. And I was kind of like, yeah, okay, all right.
Having worked in local news, it was just kind of fun to see some of that aesthetic again because I haven't worked in a newsroom for a bit. But other than that, I mean, there really wasn't much of the story that kept me engaged besides, you know, the idea of a god of death in the middle of a destructed Mexico, which is a fun idea. It was fine.
And the director actually did live in Mexico City when the earthquake happened, so this was her, like, kind of retelling that story and using that trauma and experience to kind of work through it. So, I don't know, I found it highly personal. I ranked it solidly in the middle. Emmett had this much higher, and, you know, we'll never know why, because he's...
One thing we should say about the VHS series is that they have an incredible amount of content from other countries. It's not just an American property, in my mind.
Yeah.
With like my top favorites are both from Indonesia, and this one's from Mexico. And there's some really great foreign content that comes in the VHS series.
Indonesia killed it, man.
They really did. Okay, so do we all have the same number ones here?
No.
I think
no.
Okay.
Nobody has the same number ones, but you two did rank that director's films very high. And we'll get, but yeah, I think this one also suffers from the found footage problem of, like, why are you still filming? This like maybe the standout for, like, why are you still filming in the entire series? Like,
totally.
Like, you're trying to evacuate from this earthquake that happened, and you're like, here, take the camera and squeeze it through. Don't stop filming. I've been filming my whole life. I'm not going to stop now.
I feel like the biggest excuse they have is that the camera is also their flashlight, and that's why they excuse them still using the camera.
Okay.
I don't remember if they use it in this one or not, but I feel like it's one of those where it's the only excuse they have to be like, hold this camera, is because it's being used as the flashlight as well.
I thought about that too. I thought it would be fun to rank, like, from worst to best, the reasons for them.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
In their filming of, like, because it is funny the way that they try to get around that and you know, there's a certain suspension of disbelief that has to go into, like, when you watch that, like, you're watching Cloverfield and HUD is like, people need to see this. Like, all right, they're going to see it all over everything. So your camera footage is not that important. But yeah, it's kind of a funny thing to work around.
Yeah.
Verisimilitude is the most important word when it comes to found footage.
God damn it.
Of course. Coming in at number 34 and rounding out our worst of list is...
Can't believe we're already there.
Phase 1 Clinical Trials. Phase 1 Clinical Trials follows a guy who has had an eye implant who begins to be able to see the dead. Let's see. Who has this ranked the highest of us? Wow, Brianna had this at number 2, but we'll never know
I think I have this the lowest.
You have this at 25. I have it the lowest of all of us, but yeah, you do have it the highest, George. So why is this at 25?
No, that should be solidly, like Kelly said, probably a 3 out of 5, if not like a 2.67 or so. Like, again, it's okay. Like, there's not much to it. There's not really a payoff for him seeing the dead, but I'm invested in it. I guess what my problem with it is I think it has a really good buildup with no payoff, and so it's just kind of like, is kind of how I feel about it. And I wish I had more for you, but I think there's a fun concept, and it's just not realized.
Tony and I both have this at 36. I'm curious on Tony's thoughts, but I will say that using the sex scene, like, the sex scene is totally egregious, and it's just...
I don't even remember that. All I remember is the eye gouging and the robot eye stuff. I keep forgetting
they just have sex as a distraction. She's, like, trying to save him and uses sex so that he
Is that a green flag for me that I don't even remember this stuff?
You know,
I don't know. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. So I This is just one of those ones that I'm like, this brings the series down just because of that. So
okay, well, fair enough. I see.
Yeah.
When I was ranking, that didn't even come to mind. I just
Yeah.
remembered the eye gouging and robot stuff.
It was just like it happened. I immediately made a note and was like, "This is going at the bottom of my list because what the fuck."
Yeah.
fair enough. I
Yeah.
subscribe to that.
Or-
I'm fine with it.
More succinctly, why the fuck?
Why the
Like,
fuck? Why
the
did the fuck
There's a
happen?
number of things in this season where you'd say, "Why the fuck?" So agreed.
To both of your points, like it's another one where I'm just like, I felt like they had an idea, but they didn't actually figure out what they wanted to do with the idea. They just did, and it's like this shouldn't be. I don't know. I agree that it also brings down, but for multiple reasons, it's just kind of like it exists. It's there. It felt forgettable and fillery compared to a lot of the shorts, and just I was just like, I don't know.
Exactly. No, I think you're right on point.
Yeah, this was another one that I was kind of bitter about because I wanted to like it. You know, it took some turns where I was just like, again, rolling my eyes, but I wanted to like it because I really want this to be more of a thing in horror movies. I want more first-person horror. Okay, like put us in the driver's seat. Like I want to experience the things. And it's really funny because right after I had watched this VHS is when I actually did watch Exit 8. And like the first 10 minutes of Exit 8 is like first person POV. And I was like, oh my God, they're doing it. They're doing it. And then it's just clearly supposed to be like a callback to the game. And like, you know, it doesn't persist. But I just think that's such a cool concept, especially for horror movies, and I want to see more of it done. And so when this one did that, I was like, great, but then that's the only thing it had going for it. And it didn't do anything interesting or exciting. But someone please make like a series of first-person horror movies. I will watch the hell out of that.
Did you like In a Violent Nature?
I've been meaning to see that.
I didn't like it as much as I wanted to.
Okay.
It was
That's
really
about the consensus I hear.
I
feel
love
like-
it. I'm a massive fan of it. I had a conversation with Rye at Crypticon a couple of years ago.
Mhm.
He's very excited for the sequel. I'm super excited for the sequel. But most Friday the 13th movies are bad, but I still enjoy them. And it was just
Sure.
another Friday the 13th movie.
I liked the scenery a lot. It reminded me of, like where I live, and I was like, that's so pretty. Yeah, that's really nice. And I literally kind of wanted it to be my screensaver more than I was enjoying it as a movie. But it's okay. I really wanted to love it, and for some reason it didn't hit for me. But apparently, like that's something that Ian has all these special movies that he loves, like Skin and Rank and everything, where it's like, you know, you kind of have to, it's like if you disagree, then it's going to lead to some interesting conversations. So
You know what?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I have yet to watch The Bride. Ian's the only person in the world I've heard that's enjoyed it so far. But
Oh my, Ian, okay,
So
another
good.
one.
I love The Bride
Okay.
so much.
Oh boy. Okay, all right, that's another one then. It's funny because I was listening to our liminal horror episode, and actually, I think it was such a good episode.
it's a great episode. Go back and
really
listen to it. It's
enjoyed
on our main feed on the Halloween Horror Pod. Liminal Spaces, Liminal Horror, incredible episode.
Yeah, but it's because we landed on like opposite ends on some of these things, and that makes for interesting discussions. For the record, my co-host also loved The Bride, and I didn't, and so sometimes those make for the most interesting discussions.
We have gone through the bottom 12, and that is the conclusion of our first installment on this. Good work, everybody. That was a lot of fun. We're going to come back next week. There might be some rotating faces over the next few weeks, but we are going to get through every single segment before VHS Mixtape drops on October 9th with a whole bunch of returning directors and new directors, including Wu-Tang Clan's RZA.
Hey guys, I'm seeing Gwar next month. Gwar has a show or has a segment in VHS Mixtape coming out. I've seen them before. I've seen them kill presidents and pop culture figures and spray blood on the audience, throw babies into the crowd. I've seen them do everything. I can't wait to see what they do after they've caused so much political upsetness since the last time we saw them. And then they're going to drop a VHS video. And so, you know what? Everything's just coming up VHS. It's very exciting.
Also, we've talked about Gwar on the podcast before. Sam was actually introduced to Gwar this year. So Sam from the Halloween Horror Hour and from
Such
our
a baby.
music episodes. Yeah, he just learned about Gwar because they covered the Pink Pony Club song by Chapel Roan, and that was the first time he had ever heard Gwar.
Wow. You can hear Gwar and then you can see Gwar, and they're two very different things.
Oh, I know. I know. Yes. But anyway, Kelly, tell us where we can find you again.
Yes, so you can come listen to the Final Girls podcast at final-girls.com, or you can reach out to us on Blue Sky at Final Girls Podcast, or on Instagram at Final Girls The Podcast. If you are looking for our podcast, it's the one with like the jagged lettering, and the two of us, I think our faces are on there now. So
cool 80s font splash too, like splash font. It's important to notice. It stands out the most.
That's exactly why my co-host chose it. So I'll give her credit for that. And we talk about a different Final Girl every week, releasing on Wednesdays. And we just did Grace from Ready or Not. So come and listen to our Grace episode.
Heck yeah.
All right, Tony. Who are you? Why are you even here?
I question this every day. Well, I am a regular rotating host on the Halloween Horror Hour podcast, as well as now Microphone Myers in the show. I made my debut film presence this year with that and the Raptor Rapture. So yeah, I am solidly a part of the crew now. You can find me here mostly. Maybe someday I'll get back to streaming as McPatches 3D. I'm on Blue Sky as McPatches 3D. So yeah, catch me around. Check out the podcast more.
George.
Hey, all yous out there in Radioland, this is Discount Dracula here on the Halloween Horror Pod. Anyway, that's my character, Discount Dracula. This has been George Brandenburg. Besides watching the TV show and listening to this podcast, you can catch my work on Audible under George Brandenburg. As always, I recommend Writhe by Erica Summers and H.M. Wool, who you can also hear on this show. So please keep it tuned here. I can't wait to continue this series. This has been a lot of fun, and I'm really happy to be here with you guys.
Hello. Yes, you are hearing from Hallow Ian himself now. And I hope that you will not eschew that subscribe button as you listen to this podcast. Whatever. Watch the show. We're every single weekend in October.
I thought I was having an aneurysm for a second.
you can watch the Tele-Halloween-a-thon. Is that what we call it? Telethon-a-ween? All 4 episodes will be coming out in sequential order weekly in October. You can also catch us live at the Grand Cinema in Tacoma, Washington. Tickets are on sale now, and they're going quick, so buy them now, or you will not be able to be there. We're going to have an artist alley in front of the theater, so there's going to be Fright House Station, Crypticon, Horror Writers Association, our merch booth, all sorts. Juniper Rainey is going to have their beautiful paintings there, and that you will be able to see the premiere of Season 4 of the Halloween Horror Hour live in person with cast and crew, as well as the premiere of my new short film, Raptor Rapture, about a disgraced pastor who uses esoteric means to try to bring about the end of the world, and it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, since there's no one up before you, and since there's no one else here to say it for you, and since I'm, miles away in Alaska, Ian is an incredible filmmaker. Juniper is an incredible artist. It'd be inappropriate for him to say all that himself, so I'm going to say it for him. So definitely don't want to miss out on that.
And check him back next week for numbers 33 through 22 of our definitive ranking of the VHS segment series. Thank you all for joining us.